I don't even want to waste any time. This bothered me. This bugged me.
Whoa.
Do we have the Klay thing from last night? Is it on here?
I can play it if you want.
It bugged you?
It bugged me.
Jeez, I'd like to hear the sound, and then I'd like to hear why. You don't get bugged very easily.
Well,
I've been trying to bug you for a long time.
No, you do. You do. I hide it.
Okay, wow, that hurts.
No,
welcome back.
No,
I miss Mark Grandy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having my back yesterday. No, I sports bugged. Whatever.
Okay, good.
I like if I were the Warriors. You have it, Grandy? If I were the Warriors, I wouldn't do this anymore.
That's why we won the championship a couple years ago, is because of Andrew's two-way play. We obviously need him to be that, to go where we want to go, and he's so vital to what we do. Without him, we cannot reach our full potential. So we all love Wiggs. We know what he's capable of, and like you said, his defense is, when he's playing tenacious defense, it's going to fuel his ability to get to the rim, and just his confidence will improve as well.
Okay. I don't want to talk about Andrew Wiggins today. I want to talk about the way that the Warriors are talking to Andrew Wiggins. I wouldn't do that anymore. I give up. If Andrew Wiggins were a relationship, I would have ended it by now. I would have broken up with him. How many times are you going to ask somebody to do the same thing before you just go, no? Come on. Andrew has been in the league for a decade. He's almost 30 years old. How many times are you going to ask your fan base to sit here after a game and listen to you pet him on the back of the head when he plays well and speak to him through the microphones that are in front of you at a podium for a press conference? That's clearly what Klay's doing.
The answer is 1,419.
Steve does it on this show. Steph has done it.
Draymond's done it. They've all done it.
Aren't you all exhausted?
Yes, but what's the alternative? Because it's not like a relationship. You're on the hook for 2 more, maybe 3 more years after this one. So unless you trade him in the offseason, right now with 11 games to go, you need last night's Andrew, and you're going to need it here in an hour and 44 minutes when you take on Orlando. And if that, in your mind, is a way to get to Andrew, and I'm sure for every one time they've gone on the air and talked about what they need from Andrew, they've done it 1,000 times behind closed doors. So I'm not bugged at all. I think it's enlightening to hear them actually tell the public what they're saying behind closed doors, which is, Andrew, that's the Andrew we need. And yes, it's exhausting. You're not wrong about that part of it, but as long as you have Andrew, you got to do everything you can to get that Wiggins out.
So why would you think that this would work now?
I mean, you got to try something. And
You've already tried this.
Well, and it's worked for a short stint. 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we won the championship because of two-way Wiggs.
Right.
And since then, he's had off-court issues that cost him a half a year last year and cost him about 5 games this year.
Yeah, it feels like crying wolf to me. It feels like crying wolf. And in a way, as a fan, I think maybe you're offended by it. As a teammate, I would totally be offended by it. I would be offended by it by now.
If you were Wiggins?
No.
Or if you were one of the other teammates?
If I was one of the teammates who every time he played well, I felt the need to go to a press conference and speak for him and tell him that that's the guy we need and that's the attaboy. That's what we need from you every night. Are you all under the impression if you're a Warrior teammate, you're going to get it? You're not. You might tonight. You might Friday. But you're not. Like, how can these guys still do this with a straight face? I felt exhausted for Klay. You went out there and you're busting your butt with your future Hall of Fame career, and you gotta go talk at your press conference. You gotta go after the game and do we love Andrew because Andrew played good tonight, and that's the guy we need. And attaboy, I'm gonna text him later and say, hey, buddy, that was good.
Yeah,
that was more of that. And then you go to bed and you think you're gonna get that tomorrow, maybe. again, we've done 1,000 Andrew shows.
Yeah, too many.
And I've reached the same place every time. I accept Andrew. This is something that I think is a lesson that I've had to undergo. We all undergo with whoever the people are in your life. But like, you accept them or don't, right? Like you can either push them out of your life, but if you're going to have them, then maybe accept them for who they are and the things they do. But I felt exhausted for Klay Thompson, as I will for Steve tomorrow when we go, hey, Wiggins, 17 points and 8 boards, and you guys upset Orlando. That's the Andrew we need. Oh, my God.
And Steve will say the same thing that he says every week. You know, I like the way Andrew's been playing. He's been playing really hard, and you know he's been consistent the last couple of games. And when he plays well like that, you know, we're competitive. We can beat anyone in this league.
Ugh, I feel terrible for them.
I feel terrible for Wiggins because,
you do?
Well, I feel bad for the fact that this is necessary. It's like having a kid who puts on their own sunscreen for the first time, and you realize that child is 15 years old. It's not a 2-year-old. It's not a 3-year-old who smeared sunscreen on their arms. Oh, good job, little Bobby. You did it. This is your 15-year-old kid that you have to baby like that. And that's what that soundbite sounded like to me. It sounded like a veteran saying to another veteran, this is how we like you to play. When you have 17 and 7 and you play hard on defense. Good job, Andrew.
For the 8 millionth time.
But it's necessary.
Is it? It doesn't work.
Well, what does work?
Nothing. So that's what I'm getting at. I almost simultaneously, I'm exhausted for you Warriors, but also, I don't know, try something different. Try something different.
Like,
I don't know.
Have Draymond give him a stern talking to?
Would imagine that's happened.
Right.
Would imagine that's
have
happened.
Him come off the bench?
Look,
they've done that.
I'm not a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Make him love basketball more? Mark, I don't know what the answer is, but when I hear Klay speak that and speak it into existence, it makes me feel like that 18-second soundbite is the tip of the iceberg for what's going on behind the scenes. So I'm glad that we actually got to see the tip of the iceberg.
You'd think. I agree with you. You would think. I have no idea what happens behind closed doors. I don't know what those individual relationships are like. I just know that normally, this is what I do know, just because of my years in sports media. What I do know is that when it gets to the press conference, it means that you've likely become exhausted with what's happening behind the scenes. Let's go to Kyle Shanahan and Steve Wilkes. That's why after the Minnesota game, I knew right away, oh my God, it's not working. Or Kyle thinks it's not working because Kyle Shanahan took it to a press conference. Steve knows he messed up. We're not doing a zero blitz with 13 seconds. What the hell are we doing? Can't do that anymore. And he knows. I'm like, oh my God, he said that into a microphone?
Tip of the iceberg.
Right?
Yeah.
So just think about the little quirky difference between Andrew looks good and you win a game and someone goes, hey, Klay, how about Andrew tonight? Now, what's the stock response of a professional athlete when a teammate plays well? Oh, well, Andrew's one of the best players in the world. Like, yeah, I'm not surprised that we won by double digits tonight and Andrew Wiggins is number 1 draft pick for a reason. And next question.
Yeah.
No Warrior does that. They never do it. Every time they go, yep, really good player. And, pause, take breath. That's the player we need. We tell him all the time. We really want him to be aggressive, and that's who we've been. We don't win the title 2 years ago without him.
You forgot two-way Wiggs.
Oh, my God.
Every time we use two-way Wiggs.
So good on both ends of the floor. It's like...
You get a gold star. You turned your homework in on time. Go ahead and put that gold star next to the box, next to your name up on the kindergarten board.
We're in therapy. We're not, it's not a basketball game. We're in therapy. And I it doesn't work. Whatever has been happening since the title run, And I'm fully open. It's not their fault. Like, I don't know. Andrew is clearly both years, there's stuff going on behind the scenes for him. I've got all the compassion in the world. We'll never know. And whatever it is, it's something, because he's left twice. His brother ended his season in another country. I don't know what it is, and I don't care if we all think it should be bad enough to make you do that. None of that matters. It's something. It's on his brain, and these teammates are all trying the exact same sort of a method over and over and over again, and it does nothing.
Well, it did last night. And maybe he comes out tonight and goes 26-12 because
great.
He feels emboldened by Klay's attaboy, his public attaboy.
Or maybe that happens because he's Wiggins and he has the talent to do that.
You never know. And, you know,
but as we all agree, he has the talent to do that a lot more often than he does.
Right. And the question as to why he doesn't do it is unanswerable. And so when Klay does what he did last night and he speaks to it, for me, it's good to hear because he's saying what we're all saying. And I just wonder behind closed doors how that message is being delivered from Steve Kerr, Steph, Draymond, Klay, and everybody, even Pods, because he saw Pods kind of go at him a couple weeks ago on the court when he didn't pass the ball ahead to Pods, and Andrew kind of lollygagged up, and he missed the layup, and he got fouled, and Pods like, come on, man. And Wiggins, kind of clapped back at him a little bit. So that showed me, tip of the iceberg, that there's probably a lot more behind the scenes that these guys are saying to Andrew.
I mean, there has to be. Think of some of the personalities that we're talking about.
Some competitive people.
Probably drives Brandon Pajemski up a wall. And Paz is a rookie.
Right.
He's a rookie who, by all accounts, he will speak his mind to veterans more than maybe we would have realized or thought upon arrival. So I would imagine that he has. They're all teammates. They know how to be good teammates. They're going to have his back and all of that. But that's all left to the imagination. All I know is that when we hear that in the press conference, it means that whatever they're doing behind the scenes, they firmly believe it doesn't work.
Right.
And I firmly believe this doesn't either. And there may not be anything that works.
You just went right to where I was going to go as far as what I firmly believe. And that's why I also firmly believe in this offseason, you have to find a way to end this broken relationship, because whatever you've tried in public, in private, etc., you get time away, kid gloves, all of it, nothing works.